Hey everyone, I figured to do a quick update video. I'm finally in the city for a weekend. As you can see, we got this little Troy-Bilt partially torn down. This is still the original blown engine. I'll do a quick demonstration and show you that it is in fact blown. Zero compression. I am stripping this down. I'm going to save off of it the carburetor and the exhaust and the valve cover, all for the new engine. Sorry about the noise. They are repaving the school behind the house, so a little bit noisy the last few days. That's why I haven't really done any other videos on this machine. Good news is I got all the electrical system working on here. This actually has a mower chute safety switch, so this thing will not start up unless the mower chute is on. So I got that all figured out. The reason why it wasn't initially working is the mower chute was up a little wee bit where I had this machine parked and it wasn't making a connection. But the solenoid works, all the other electrical system works on it. Good news is this has the extra wire down here for the backfire prevention solenoid, so there will be no rewiring on this machine will be needed on this machine. It's just this particular engine does not have it. As you can see, it is in fact a Briggs & Stratton, like I mentioned in the previous video. I will be changing over potentially the carburetor. I don't know if I want to use the one with the backfire prevention solenoid or not. I'll take a look at both carburetors, see what one's better. The one in the Murray was running last year, but it smelled like it had ethanol fuel in it. This machine I don't think had any ethanol in it, because it smelled pretty clean when I pulled the gas out. It was old, but it did smell relatively clean. I have just since washed this entire machine. Emily loves her dogs, helped me with that. I had it up on its end. I did the entire underside. All 4 tires are good. I was initially thinking there was some wear on the fronts. They are perfect. Looking at how to get this engine out, it's not going to be easy, but luckily it will just come out and the new one will go right back in straight in its place. I shouldn't have any issues. I think the biggest issue will be is the main crank bolt. But I'm going to be saving the coil. I might pop the flywheel off, save the stator underneath, and do a few other things save on this as well. The dipstick will be saved. I think this one's in better shape than the one on the replacement engine. Basically they're the same engine, just the carburetors will be a little bit different. So if I ran the other carburetor, this will be a true 13 horse, I think it is. But if I was to run this carburetor, it'll bring it down to right around 11 horse. That's all that's really different is the jetting in the carburetor. So let's go over, I'll show you the other engine. Okay, here is the Murray. The engine's still bolted in. I still have the crankshaft bolt in place. I have drained all the oil out of it, so don't forget to remind me to put oil back in it. Ha ha ha. As you can see, the valve cover on this machine is pretty rusty. The valve cover on the other machine is very clean looking. This machine only sat around for a couple of years, but sat underneath a pine tree. The Troy-Bilt did as well, but this machine I guess got the brunt of the pine tree and the pine tree crap on it. I might end up trying to sell this machine. I think it's a wide body, so I'm going to see about trying to sell this machine. The guy does want the tires back, but I've since put the front tires on my Husqvarna temporarily. These are old Murray tires right here from the rear engine Murray, so we'll see about that. I do plan on getting new tires for the front of the Husqvarna anyways. I just need some tires on there that would work for right now. So as you can see, actually I gotta pull this out here. I've just finished pressure washing this machine right here as well. Just obviously just the engine, get everything all cleaned up on it, and make it more pleasant to work on. I'll take care of all the covers once I get both engines out. I'll swap over everything I want to swap over, except for the carburetors. I'll leave the carburetors until the engine's the block is in the Troy-Bilt and ready to go on that. I'll decide, like I said, which carburetor I want to use. Luckily this here came out, the exhaust, without snapping off anything, so I'll be able to put the exhaust from the Troy-Bilt right back on here, keep it looking stock. I will most likely replace the fan cover with the other one. There was a fair-sized mouse nest in the Troy-Bilt engine. Also, it had no oil, so I'm thinking the mouse nest mixed with no oil is what blew it up. So tomorrow is the day that this engine will hopefully be coming out, unless something else comes up that's more important. If nothing else comes up that's more important than doing this engine swap, this engine will come out. The new one will go back in. I'll put oil in it. It should fire right up, hopefully. Crossing my fingers on that. If I do have to clean the carburetor, I do have all the stuff on hand to clean the carburetor. Like I said, just got to change over the exhaust. Probably a few of these tins down here. This is still wiring connection. The tins right here. All that stuff is in better shape on this engine here. Some of it was bent out of the way. It appeared that this top cover was previously removed on this, but I'm not sure. There's a small bolt right here that holds the top cover in place, and that wasn't missing, so, and it was in place. Normally you'd think if something was junk, that would be one thing they would not put back in. But all the perimeter bolts on this machine were loose, so I really don't know. But the deck's clean, everything's clean underneath this machine. It actually has a regular transaxle in it. It appears to, at least. It appears to be like a forward and reverse transaxle. It's kind of a weird setup on this. It's a little bit bigger than the little Murrays I have, but it's a little compact machine. It's 30 inches, so it's perfect for a smaller yard. It's really too big for here, but and it's too small for anything with acreage. It'd be the perfect machine for, like, say, half to 3/4 of an acre. So anyways, there's where we're at on this little machine for right now. It's ready. The engine's just about ready to be pulled. I got to unbolt it, unbolt the crankshaft, get it out of here, and slap the new one in place. And like I said, the wiring is going to hook right up. The gas tank and all that stuff has already been cleaned. I got to change over the intake manifold right here. This is specific to this machine right here, so that will have to be changed over. Also, this has a PCV that goes to the top of the gas tank, so that also has to be hooked back up. But other than that, this should be a relatively easy engine swap. The hardest part will be is getting to the 4 engine bolts and the crank bolt. So I'll talk to you later. Please keep right like always, and please comment.